Good morning, students. Today we will begin with the next topic, okay, that is interface specification. Okay, so you very well know when the new system is developed, it is bound to be co-working with the existing system. So there must be interface between the old system that is already working and the new system that you are developing. Okay, so they should interact with each other. So interface is very important part of the system. So interface specification has got its own importance. What all are these interface specifications we will try and know today. All software systems must operate with existing system that have already been implemented and installed in the company. So as you already know, the new system that you are developing should work along with the old system in an organization. The new system and the existing system must work together. Yes, naturally the data exchange would be there between the new system and the existing system. So they should work together. Then only information reports would be available. For this interface of existing system have to be precisely specified early in the process. So the system that you are going to develop should interface with the existing system. So what are the interface requirements of the existing system that must be considered when you are developing the new system? Because already existing system is functional. You cannot change that, okay, to the extent. What possible changes or new concept you want to introduce should be introduced in the system under development. Okay, so interface specifications are important. The specifications should be included in the requirements document. That is why in the requirement document, which calls for user requirements, system requirements, even the interface specification should be noted properly. Now, what are the types of interfaces? Yes, there are three types of interfaces. Those are the procedural interface, the data structures, and representation of data. So these are three types of interfaces that you can have. We will study them one by one. First is the procedural interface. Now what is this? Name itself suggests that it is a procedural interface. So procedures have to be followed. These interfaces are sometimes called application program interfaces. So what are the application program you have developing and what are the application programs that are existing in the old system? These must be thought together and their requirements should be understood. So that is why it is called as application program interface. In these interfaces, existing programs or the subsystem offer a range of services that are accessed by calling interface procedure. So when you call interface procedures, the system modules become active and data exchange takes place between the system modules and the new system. So this is about procedural interface. Next, we will consider data structures. You have studied the data structure. Data structure is nothing but the way the data is stored so that it can be processed and it can be accessed anytime. So there should be exchange of data. So this interface is called as data structures. Here data structures are passed from one subsystem to another. As you very well know, data structures are to store data which is complex in nature. So here the data structures are passed from one system to another system. The graphical data models are best notations for this type of description. As you know, okay, if you write in wordings, it is very difficult. So if you write in using graphical notations, those can be clearly understood with the programmer. So developer must specify in graphical models. Okay. Program description in Java or C++ can be generated automatically for this description. So there are softwares which which automatically generate interface specification, and it is possible in case of Java and C++. So this is about data structure interface. Now representation of data. This is third type of interface. Okay. So as the name suggests, representation of data. These interfaces are most common in embedded and real-time systems. Okay. So you know embedded and real-time systems are in the gadgets, electronic gadgets that come handy to the user. So these types of interface are part of the small electronic circuit which is developed. Some programming languages such as ADA support this level of specification. So here we do not use general programming language, here we use special programming language. So one of them is ADA. Okay. So for the embedded system we have to use special programming language. The best way to describe these interfaces is to use diagram structures. Okay. So you have to use diagrams to describe this type of interfaces, which can easily be understood by any programmer. Use of diagram structures with annotation. Annotation means some details about the notations used, explaining the function of each of the group bits. So what are the bits that are part of the data representation are going to mean? So that must be clearly mentioned by using annotations. Okay. So there are three types of interface representation. Okay. That is, one is procedural, another is data structure, and third is the representation of the data. There is formal notations. What are these formal notations? Okay. So formal notations allow interface to be defined in an unambiguous way. So if you use formal notations which are scientific in nature, there will be no ambiguity. Okay. No confusion. Okay. Special training is required to understand them. So as these are formal notations related to programming aspect or design aspect, special training should be given to the programmers who are going to develop the programs or even the designers. A programming language such as Java can be used to describe the syntax of the interface. So you can use programming language such as Java. You have very well studied the interface concept in Java. Okay. But these are rarely used because of the additional description is necessary to understand them. But although these are useful, but you have to add more details so that it becomes very clear to the programmer how you have to interface the old system with the new system. So these are rarely used. Now, how you can define the functions of an interface? Okay, there are two ways. One is structured natural language. So this is more than the natural language. You cannot specify the system requirements in natural language. You can specify the user requirements, but not the system requirements. So you add some structural concept to natural language. Use forms, use tables, okay, which are scientific in nature. So you can have structural natural language or tabular description. Okay, in a given situation, what action is to be taken. So if you use this type of functions, then you can have proper description about the interfaces. So this is a very small topic. Okay, you can understand it well and you can score it once. Thank you.